The escape pod crashed through Earth's atmosphere like a burning meteor, its hull glowing red-hot as it descended toward the Pacific Ocean. Inside, Princess Maya gripped the safety harness with trembling hands, her silver skin gleaming with sweat as emergency lights flashed around her. Warning: impact in 30 seconds, the pod's computer announced in her native tongue. Maya closed her eyes, remembering how quickly everything had fallen apart. Just 12 hours ago, she had been preparing for the annual Unity Festival. Then came the explosions, the betrayal, and her brother's face twisted with malice as he declared himself the new emperor. The pod hit the ocean with a massive splash, sending water spraying in all directions. Its emergency flotation systems activated immediately, keeping the vessel bobbing on the surface like a giant metallic buoy. Maya took deep breaths, trying to adjust to Earth's heavier gravity. Even sitting still, she felt as if invisible hands were pressing down on her shoulders. Within minutes, she heard the distinct sound of rotating blades. Primitive aircraft, approaching her position. The humans had spotted her arrival. Maya knew this moment would define her future. These beings were her only hope for survival, but they were also known throughout the galaxy for their suspicious nature and warrior spirit. The pod's external cameras showed 3 military helicopters circling her position. A voice crackled over a loudspeaker in English, a language she had studied but never needed until now. "This is the United States Navy. Remain where you are. Do not attempt to leave your vessel." Maya activated her pod's universal translator and external speakers. "I am unarmed," she announced. "I seek asylum on your world." The next few hours passed in a blur of activity. Special Forces troops secured her pod, scientists in protective gear took readings, and military officials asked endless questions. Maya answered everything truthfully, knowing that trust would be essential for her survival. They took her to a secure facility on an island base, where she met General Laura Stone, a stern-faced woman with graying hair and calculating eyes. "Let me be clear," Stone said, sitting across from Maya in an interrogation room. "You're claiming to be the rightful heir to an interstellar empire, and you've chosen Earth as your hiding place." Maya sat straighter, fighting against the gravity that made even this simple movement a challenge. "My brother has corrupted our military, turned them against their own people. He used forbidden technology to enhance his loyal followers. I barely escaped with my life." "And why Earth?" Stone pressed. "We're not exactly a major player in galactic politics." A small smile crossed Maya's silver-tinted face. "Because you are unknown, unexpected. My brother would never think to look for me on a developing world." She leaned forward, her violet eyes intense. "But I study your species. You've achieved in centuries what took others millennia. Your combat techniques, your adaptability, your determination. These are legendary, even if you don't know it yet." Stone raised an eyebrow. "You're not just looking for a hiding place, are you?" "No," Maya admitted. "I want to learn. To train. My people are naturally stronger than humans, but in this gravity, under your instruction, I could become something more. Something my brother would never expect." The general was quiet for a long moment. "And in return, I can share some of our non-military technology. Medical advances, clean energy methods, agricultural improvements. Nothing that would drastically alter your development, but enough to make it worth your while." After several more hours of questioning, medical examinations, and discussions with higher authorities, a deal was struck. Maya would be granted sanctuary, given access to military training, and study by Earth scientists. In return, she would share carefully selected technological insights and serve as a cultural advisor for humanity's eventual emergence onto the galactic stage. That night, in her heavily guarded quarters, Maya stood at a window watching Earth's moon rise over the ocean. The gravity pressed down on her like a heavy blanket, but she forced herself to remain standing. This weakness would become her strength. This exile would become her path to victory. She just hoped she would have enough time to prepare before her brother found her. 2 months into her training on Earth, Maya collapsed onto the training mat, her silver skin dark with sweat. Around her, the Special Forces gym buzzed with early morning activity, but she could barely lift her head to watch. Captain James Reed, her primary combat instructor, stood over her with an impressed look. 3 hours in Earth gravity without a break. That's a new record for you. Still not good enough, Maya gasped. The simple act of breathing felt like lifting weights. Every intake of air was a conscious effort against the crushing pressure of Earth's gravity. Yet each day, she could feel her body adapting, growing stronger. Stand up, Reed ordered, not unkindly. One more round. Maya forced herself to her feet, her muscles trembling. In the 2 months since her arrival, she had learned more about human combat techniques than she had thought possible. The human's ability to turn their physical limitations into advantages fascinated her. Reed raised his fists in a boxing stance. Remember, use your opponent's strength against them. You're stronger than any human, but that won't matter if you can't move fast enough. They circled each other on the mat. Maya threw a punch, her enhanced strength carefully controlled. Reed deflected it smoothly, using her own momentum to throw her off balance. She stumbled but caught herself, remembering her lessons about adapting to Earth's gravity. Better, Reed nodded, but you're still thinking like someone from a low-gravity world. Feel the weight. Use it. Maya took a deep breath and tried again. This time, she let the gravity pull her into a roll, coming up behind Reed with a sweep of her leg. He jumped over it, but she had anticipated this, using her superior strength to push off the mat and tackle him mid-air. They crashed down together, Maya pinning Reed with a move he had taught her last week. A small crowd of other soldiers had gathered to watch, and someone started clapping. Now that, Reed grinned, was human thinking. Later that day, Maya sat in Dr. Helen Ross's laboratory, enduring another round of tests. The scientist was fascinated by how Maya's alien physiology was adapting to Earth conditions. Your muscle density has increased by 30%, Dr. Ross announced, studying her screens. Bone density up by 25%. Whatever your species evolved from, they certainly built you for adaptation. Maya flexed her hand, watching the silver skin ripple. On my world, we value natural development over artificial enhancement. My brother's choice to use forbidden technology to strengthen his forces. She trailed off, old anger rising. Speaking of your brother, Dr. Ross said carefully, our deep space monitoring stations picked up some unusual signals last night. Nothing definitive, but he's looking for me, Maya finished. I knew he would eventually. Are you ready for that? Maya thought about her training, about how every day on Earth made her stronger, faster, more adaptable. Not yet, but I will be. That evening, Maya found herself in the base's recreation room, watching human soldiers play something called basketball. The game's complexity fascinated her. The mix of strength, speed, and strategy reminded her of ancient war dances from her homeworld. Want to try? Reed appeared beside her, holding a ball. Maya hesitated. The gravity is exactly why you should try. Reed finished. Best way to learn human movement is to play human games. For the next hour, Reed taught her the basics of basketball. Maya missed more shots than she made, struggled with dribbling, and fell down twice. But each failure taught her something new about moving in Earth's gravity. As they finished, Reed tossed her a water bottle. You know what your biggest advantage is? He asked. Maya took a long drink. My strength, my natural abilities. No, Reed shook his head. It's that you're willing to fail, to look foolish, to learn. Most people, human or alien, are too proud for that. Maya thought about her brother, about his obsession with appearing powerful, his fear of showing any weakness. She looked at her hands, now calloused from Earth training. Tomorrow, she said, I want to try that move you showed me last week. The one I couldn't get right. Reed smiled. That's exactly what I mean. 6 months into her Earth training, Maya stood in the center of a combat ring facing 5 opponents. Each was an elite fighter from a different military force. American Special Forces, British SAS, Russian Spetsnaz, Israeli Defense Forces, and Chinese Special Operations. The watching crowd held their breath. In the front row, Captain Reed nodded slightly, giving her the signal to begin. The fighters attacked all at once. Maya's silver skin gleamed under the bright lights as she moved, no longer fighting against Earth's gravity but dancing with it. A punch from the SAS operator was caught and redirected into the Russians' advance. She dropped and rolled, using her alien strength to throw the Israeli fighter over her shoulder while dodging a kick from the Chinese operative. 3 minutes later, all 5 fighters were on the ground. Maya stood undefeated, barely breathing hard. "Incredible," General Stone muttered from her observation position. "She's combined every fighting style we've taught her into something completely new." Reed stepped into the ring, helping the other fighters up. "What we're seeing here is evolution in action. Her species' natural abilities plus Earth's gravity plus human combat techniques. She's becoming something that's never existed before." Maya bowed to her opponents, showing respect as she had learned humans did. Each fighter bowed back, their initial suspicion of the alien princess long since replaced with professional respect. Later that day, Maya practiced with traditional weapons in the dojo. Her hands moved through the motions of sword kata, staff fighting, and knife work. Earth weapons felt different from the energy blades she had trained with in her youth, but they taught her something vital: the importance of basics. "Your brother's forces rely on technology," Reed said, watching her practice. "Energy shields, powered armor, genetic enhancements. But what happens when the technology fails?" Maya completed her kata before answering. "They fall. They have no foundation." "Exactly." Reed picked up a wooden practice sword. "That's why we're training you from the ground up. Every weapon, every style, every situation. No shortcuts." They sparred for an hour, wooden swords clacking in the quiet dojo. Maya's enhanced strength was matched by Reed's superior experience, making them even opponents. She had learned to appreciate these moments. The pure focus of combat, free from politics and worry about her brother's growing power. That evening, Dr. Ross called an urgent meeting. Maya arrived to find the scientist excited, her computers displaying complex biological readings. "Look at this," Ross pointed to a chart. "Your muscle fibers aren't just getting stronger. They're completely restructuring. Your bones aren't just getting denser. They're developing new growth patterns. Your nervous system is rewiring itself to process faster reactions." Maya studied the readings. "What does it mean?" "It means you're not just adapting to Earth anymore. You're evolving. Your species must have some incredible biological plasticity. The combination of Earth's gravity, intensive training, and your natural abilities is creating something unprecedented." The discussion was interrupted by an alert from the base's communication center. Maya and Dr. Ross rushed to the command room, where General Stone was reviewing a transmission. "We've intercepted communications," Stone announced grimly. "Your brother's forces have conquered 3 more systems. They're using some kind of new battle suits, powered armor that enhances their abilities far beyond normal limits." Maya thought about her own training, about the strength she had built naturally through sweat and effort. How many casualties? Too many. The enhanced soldiers are nearly unstoppable. Traditional weapons barely slow them down. Then we need untraditional weapons. Maya stood straighter, her silver skin catching the light of the monitors. "General, I want to increase my training schedule. Add more disciplines, more weapons, more scenarios. If my brother's forces are becoming machines, we need to create something better." Stone studied her for a long moment. "You're proposing to become our prototype, a new kind of warrior, combining the best of both our species." "Yes." Maya looked at the battle footage playing on the screens, watching her brother's enhanced soldiers destroying everything in their path. "They have technology. We'll have something stronger." "What's that?" Reed asked. Maya's violet eyes hardened with determination. Evolution. 9 months into Maya's training, Earth's top military leaders gathered in a secure underground facility to witness something unprecedented. Through the reinforced glass of the observation room, they watched as Maya faced off against their latest combat drone. The machine stood 8 feet tall, armed with multiple weapons and protected by advanced armor. It represented the peak of Earth's military technology. Against it, Maya wore only a light training suit that showed her silver skin beneath. "Begin test," General Stone ordered. The drone attacked with lightning speed, its metal fists becoming barely visible blurs. Maya moved like water, each deadly strike missing her by millimeters. She hadn't just adapted to Earth's gravity. She had mastered it, using the extra weight to add power to her movements. When she struck back, her enhanced strength combined with human fighting techniques shattered the drone's armor like glass. Within 30 seconds, the multi-million-dollar machine lay in pieces. "Impressive," said the Russian general through his translator. "But can this be replicated?" Dr. Ross stepped forward with her data tablets. "Maya's physiology has given us new insights. While we can't copy her alien biology, we can use what we've learned to improve our own super soldier program." In the testing chamber, Maya helped technicians collect pieces of the destroyed drone. Her enhanced hearing picked up every word of the discussion above. "The real question," the Chinese representative said, "is whether this will be enough against her brother's enhanced forces." The answer came sooner than anyone expected. That evening, as Maya trained with Captain Reed in the gym, alarms blared throughout the base. They rushed to the command center to find General Stone reviewing urgent satellite footage. "We've detected a small ship entering the solar system," Stone announced. "It's using stealth technology, but our new sensors caught it." Maya felt her heart race. "My brother." "No." Stone enlarged the image. "According to these readings, it's a civilian vessel. And it's asking for you by name." Hours later, Maya stood in a secure meeting room face to face with someone she had never expected to see again. Commander K, her former combat instructor from the Royal Academy, looked older and more worn than she remembered. "The Resistance sent me," K said, his own silver skin dulled with fatigue. "Your brother's enhanced armies grow stronger each day. The forbidden technology he's using, it's changing them into monsters." Maya gestured for him to continue. "They feel no pain, no fear, no mercy. Their powered armor has been bonded directly to their bodies. But the changes are destroying their minds. They'd follow orders without question, kill without hesitation." General Stone, who had insisted on attending the meeting, spoke up. "How many?" "Thousands now. Soon to be millions." Kay turned back to Maya. "We need you, Your Highness, but not as you were. We need you as you are now." Maya understood. "You've been monitoring my progress." "As much as we could. Word has spread through the Resistance about the exiled princess, training on a high-gravity world, becoming something new. You represent hope, strength gained through effort, not stolen through technology." Dr. Ross had been quietly taking notes. Now she spoke. "We've been developing special equipment for Maya. Armor that works with her enhanced abilities rather than trying to replace them. Weapons designed for her unique fighting style." "Show me," Kay said. They moved to the research labs, where Dr. Ross unveiled her latest project. The armor was unlike anything Maya had seen before. Light, flexible, yet stronger than traditional materials. It had been designed based on months of studying her fighting style. "It's not powered armor like your brother's forces use," Ross explained. "It's more like a second skin, enhancing what's already there naturally." Maya ran her hand over the armor surface. "When can we test it?" "That's the thing about tests," Kay said grimly. "Sometimes they come to you." As if on cue, alarms blared again. General Stone's phone buzzed with an urgent message. 3 ships just appeared in Earth orbit," she announced. "Larger ones this time. Military vessels." Maya looked at the armor, then at her mentor Kay, and finally at Captain Reed, who had become her friend and teacher. "It seems," she said quietly, that my brother has found me after all." Maya stood in the command center, watching as 3 warships from her brother's fleet took up attack positions around Earth. She wore her new adaptive armor, its surface shimmering like liquid metal against her silver skin. "Their weapons could devastate your cities," Commander K warned, studying the tactical displays. "These are Imperial dreadnoughts, designed for planetary bombardment." General Stone's face remained calm despite the threat. "Then it's a good thing we've been preparing for this moment." She pressed a button on her command console, and hidden defense platforms around the planet revealed themselves, rising from the oceans and emerging from camouflaged mountain bases. "Courtesy of the Technology Exchange Program," Captain Reed explained to Kay. "Maya helped us upgrade our planetary defenses. Not enough to make us a galactic power, but enough to give your empire a nasty surprise." The lead warship transmitted a message. Maya's brother appeared on the main screen, his once handsome face now marked with cybernetic enhancements. "Dear sister," he said, his voice distorted by implants. "Finally, I've found your hiding place. Surrender now, and I'll spare this primitive world." Maya stepped forward. "You're not even fully organic anymore, are you? The forbidden technology has changed you. It has made me perfect." He flexed a mechanically enhanced arm. "While you've been playing with primitives, I've transcended our weak flesh. My enhanced soldiers are unstoppable." As if to demonstrate, the warships launched drop pods toward Earth. Each contained a squad of cybernetically enhanced Imperial troops. Maya watched their descent paths with practiced eyes. "General," she said calmly, "I request permission to demonstrate what these primitives have taught me." Stone nodded. "Granted, Captain Reed. Deploy the response teams." Within minutes, Maya was aboard a high-speed transport with Reed and a squad of Earth's best Special Forces operators. Each human soldier wore armor similar to Maya's, not powered suits like her brother's forces, but adaptive gear that enhanced their natural abilities. They intercepted the first drop pod as it landed in a remote desert area. The Imperial troops that emerged were nightmarish combinations of flesh and machine, their movements unnaturally fast and precise. "Remember your training," Maya told the human soldiers. "They rely on their enhancements. We rely on skill." The battle that followed proved her words true. The enhanced Imperial troops were incredibly strong and fast, but their movements were predictable, programmed. Maya and the human soldiers fought as one unit, using tactics developed over months of training together. Maya moved through the combat like a silver storm. Every technique she had learned on Earth, every adaptation her body had developed in high gravity, came together perfectly. She disabled enhanced soldiers with precision strikes to weak points that their automated systems couldn't protect. "Impossible," one of the Imperial officers shouted before Maya took him down. "You're just flesh and blood." "I am evolution," Maya corrected him, using a combination of alien strength and human martial arts to disable his cybernetic enhancements. "You are just machines." Above, the orbital battle had begun. Earth's hidden defenses proved effective against the warships, their weapons based on Maya's knowledge of Imperial technology. The lead warship, carrying her brother, took heavy damage and began retreating. "This isn't over, sister," his damaged face snarled through the command channel. "I'll return with more ships, more soldiers." "Good," Maya replied, standing among defeated Imperial troops and victorious human soldiers. "It will give me time to train more warriors, to show the galaxy what real strength looks like." After the Imperial forces retreated, Maya stood with General Stone, Captain Reed, and Commander K in the desert battlefield. The setting sun made her armor glow like fire. "They'll be back," K warned. "In greater numbers. Then we'll need greater numbers too." Maya turned to Stone. "General, I want to expand the training program. Not just Earth's special forces, but any warrior willing to learn. It's time to show the galaxy what humanity can do." Stone smiled. "I think that can be arranged." Reed checked his tactical tablet. "We're already receiving requests from military units worldwide. Everyone wants to learn how to fight like you did today." Maya looked at the setting sun, thinking of battles to come. "No," she said, "they'll learn to fight like us. Human and alien, working as one. That's what my brother will never understand." "And that," Kay said quietly, "is why you will win." 3 months after the first battle, Maya stood on the bridge of Earth's first starship, the EF's Defender. Built using a combination of human innovation and her shared knowledge, the vessel represented everything she had come to admire about humanity. Their ability to adapt, improve, and overcome. "Fleet status report," she requested. Captain Reed, now serving as her tactical advisor, checked the displays. 20 Earth ships ready for action. The Resistance fleet under Commander K has joined us with 30 more vessels. All crews are trained in the new combat protocols. Maya nodded, watching the stars through the view screen. The combined fleet was small compared to her brother's armada, but every ship carried specially trained crews, warriors who had learned to fight like she did, combining human ingenuity with alien strength. "Message from General Stone," a communications officer announced. "The attack on Installation 7 has begun. Your brother's forces are dividing to respond." "Just as we planned," Maya said. "Set course for the capital world. Maximum speed." The fleet jumped through space, using technology that Earth scientists had refined and improved. When they emerged near the capital planet, Maya's breath caught in her throat. Her homeworld looked different now. Its once beautiful cities covered in industrial smog from her brother's war factories. "Imperial fleet detected," Reed reported. 5 times our numbers. They're launching enhanced fighters." Maya activated the ship's communication system. "All vessels, implement attack pattern Earth. Show them what you've learned." The battle that followed would be remembered for generations in both human and alien histories. The smaller Earth Resistance fleet moved with unexpected precision, using tactics developed from months of training. Enhanced Imperial fighters found themselves outmaneuvered by pilots who relied on skill instead of cybernetic reflexes. "Their formations are breaking," Reed announced with satisfaction. "They don't know how to handle unpredictable opponents." Maya watched as another Imperial cruiser fell to their coordinated attacks. They forgot that machines can only follow their programming. Living warriors can adapt. The battle raged for hours. Though outnumbered, the combined fleet pushed through the Imperial defenses. Maya's new combat techniques, developed on Earth and taught to both human and Resistance fighters, proved devastating against the enhanced Imperial forces. "Your brother's flagship is detecting," Reed reported. "Reading massive energy signatures. He's done something to himself." The Imperial flagship's transmission cut through all channels. Maya's brother appeared on screen, but he was barely recognizable. His body had merged with his throne, mechanical tendrils spreading throughout his ship. "I've become one with my vessel," his distorted voice boomed. "Pure machine. Pure power. What can your primitive training do against perfection?" Maya turned to Reed. "Ready the boarding pods. I'm taking the strike team in." "We're going with you," Reed said, gesturing to the specially trained human-alien strike force standing ready. The boarding action was fierce. Enhanced Imperial troops fought desperately, but Maya's strike team moved like water through their defenses. Months of training in Earth's gravity had made them stronger, faster, more adaptable than any machine. They fought their way to the bridge, where Maya finally confronted her brother. The sight of him made her pause. He had transformed himself into a grotesque fusion of flesh and machine, more computer than living being. "Look at what I've become," he growled, mechanical arms extending from his throne body. "I am invincible." "No," Maya said sadly. "You're not even alive anymore." The fight that followed tested everything Maya had learned on Earth. Her brother's mechanical body was incredibly powerful, but his movements were predictable. She flowed around his attacks like water, striking at joints and connections that human engineers had taught her to identify. "Why won't you just die?" he screamed, his mechanical systems failing. "Because I evolved," Maya answered, delivering the final strike that severed his connection to the ship's systems. You only changed your parts. As Imperial forces surrendered across the system, Maya stood on her brother's bridge, now hers again. Reed approached with a report from Earth. General Stone sends congratulations, he said, and asks what's next. Maya looked out at the stars, thinking of everything she had learned on humanity's world. Next, we teach. Both our peoples have so much to learn from each other. Together, Reed asked. Together, Maya confirmed. The way true strength grows. 1 year after the liberation of the capital world, Maya stood in the newly rebuilt Grand Training Arena. The massive facility, once used exclusively for Imperial guards, now hosted warriors from both Earth and her people. Silver-skinned aliens trained alongside humans, each learning from the other's strengths. The latest graduation class is ready, Your Highness, Captain Reed said, now serving as chief instructor of the Combined Combat Academy. He wore an instructor's uniform that blended both human and Imperial styles, symbolizing the new era of cooperation. Maya nodded, watching a group of students practicing below. How many worlds have adopted the training program now? 15 Earth nations and 12 Imperial systems, Reed replied. The results speak for themselves. Natural evolution and training consistently outperform enhanced soldiers. Dr. Ross, who had established a research facility on the capital world, approached with her ever-present data tablet. The latest studies are fascinating. Humans training in Imperial gravity develop enhanced strength, while Imperials training in Earth gravity develop unprecedented adaptability. Both species are evolving naturally. Maya smiled, remembering her own journey. The combat arena where she now stood was the same place where her brother had first revealed his cybernetic enhancements, starting the civil war that had changed everything. Any word from the recovery teams? She asked. Reed checked his communications device. The last of your brother's enhanced soldiers have been found and treated. The medical procedures you developed with Dr. Ross are working. Most of them can be returned to normal. The former emperor himself remained in a secure medical facility, his body slowly being separated from the machines he had fused with. Maya visited him sometimes, watching as doctors helped him relearn how to be organic again. There's something else, Reed added. The Earth Defense Council is requesting more instructors. Their space fleet is expanding, and every ship wants warriors trained in combined combat techniques. Maya walked to the arena's edge, looking down at the training floor. Human and Imperial students sparred together, each movement a perfect blend of both worlds' fighting styles. Some used traditional weapons, others practiced with modern equipment, but all relied on skill and natural ability rather than technological enhancement. Do you ever regret it? Reed asked, joining her at the railing. Choosing Earth as your refuge. Maya watched a human instructor teaching a group of Imperial cadets how to fight in varying gravity conditions. Nearby, a silver-skinned alien demonstrated advanced movement techniques to amazed human students. Never, she answered. My brother thought he could skip evolution, force progress through technology. But Earth taught me that true strength comes from growth, from challenge, from learning. Speaking of challenges, Dr. Ross interrupted. The deep space explorers have reported back. They'd found signs of other civilizations, some even more advanced than the Empire. Are they friendly? Reed asked. Unknown, Ross replied. But they're definitely watching us. Maya straightened, feeling the familiar weight of Earth's training in her movements. Then we'll be ready. Not with cybernetic enhancement or artificial power, but with something stronger. What's that? A young student asked, having paused in her training to listen. Unity, Maya answered. Earth taught me that strength isn't just about power. It's about adaptation, cooperation, bringing together different ways of thinking. She turned to address all the students, her voice carrying across the arena. Out there, among the stars, are challenges we can't imagine. But we won't face them with machines built into our flesh or artificial improvements to our bodies. We'll face them as we are, human and Imperial, evolved and trained, ready to learn and grow together. The students cheered, their voices echoing in the vast space. Maya felt pride, not in conquest or power, but in what they had all built together. Later, standing in her private observatory, Maya watched Earth's position in the star field. The blue planet was barely visible at this distance, but its influence could be seen everywhere in the Empire, in the training grounds, in the combined fleets, in the way two species had learned to work as one. "Ready for tomorrow's demonstration?" Reed asked, joining her at the window. Maya nodded, thinking of all the challenges ahead, all the stars yet to explore. "Always ready," she said. "That's the human way." "No," Reed corrected with a smile. "That's our way now." Maya smiled back, knowing he was right. In seeking refuge, she had found something far more valuable, a new path forward for both their peoples. Together.